Hey there, folks. Welcome to our series of Once More Into the Void, designed by Nedjadi. And for this run, as part of the Gauntlet Reading Club, we are taking particular inspiration from Cassandra Khaw's The All-Consuming World. Before we get too far into things, I wanted to do a quick round of introductions, give us all a reminder of who we are and who we're playing. So if you give your name, your pronouns, and who you're playing. I am Steven, he, him. I am playing Mother Rent. They, she are sentient weapon of mass destruction. Who is having a lot of awkward moments lately, with her not daughter El, and like I don't even know what to call the relationship between like my former big toe, I guess you could say, like it's a relationship with a being that used to be a part of me, and there is a lot of awkwardness between me and Truffle. That's just a thing. Yeah, if we could go around clockwise from me to you, Leandro, if you want to introduce yourself, your pronouns, and who you're playing.
Yeah, hi, it's Leandro, use he, him pronouns. I'm playing the captain of this game. For every game of Once More Into the Void requires a captain to bring the crew back together. This captain's name is Rosafina Blooming, who in their introduction seemed quite shady, but inevitably turns out they had interiority, as we discovered last session. Mostly we discovered that the rights to her life are not her own, and which was kind of true being a clone and all, but it's doubly true now that turns out someone's profiting from their exploits and their adventures. It started one chain. Used to say there's probably other chains, and also found out they have a poetic streak, and they're quite determined to carry on this mission, which is taking on this weird, horrible enemy, which they have ties to in many ways. So maybe we'll find out more about them tonight. Who's to say? There's a lot going on there, and it's all peachy keen with the crew, I suppose. It's all fine. It's all going well.
It's my turn. I am Maria. I use she, her pronouns. I will be playing EL, the reformed from what? Possibly war crimes. EL uses she, they pronouns. They're kind of a tinker, scientist, researcher, likes to understand things, including things that maybe humans have been dissuaded from learning, has recently found out that more of their life has been controlled by Mother Rent and other AI on the ship. Has some complicated feelings about relationships and the captain. And yeah, has been confronted recently about said war crimes, which involved sacrificing clones to the nanomachine enemy in the past. And to be fair, I don't know how directly involved they were in that. It may have just been the group that they are now sort of on the run from. So that is EL.
Cool. As always, this game is hosted through the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, for folks who don't know, is an online gaming community mostly focusing on games of the Indian OSR variety. Besides publishing a zine called Codex and putting out several podcasts about tabletop role-playing games, it also runs the Gauntlet calendar, which this and many other games are hosted through. it is open to non-members. So if you are interested in playing with any of the people here today or any of the other folks on the Gauntlet, feel free to jump on over through the link below. Yeah. Besides, as always as well, we are making use of the Gauntlet's open door. If for whatever reason you need to leave to for your own safety because of outside outside responsibilities, feel free to. We are all here to play together and have fun. Your safety and comfort is most important. If you could let us know if and when you are going to be back, that's helpful to the rest of us. I mean, particularly in this game, because there's 3 of us, if we should continue playing or just call it for the night. But of course, sometimes that's not possible, and you know, your life takes priority. Besides that, we're also making use of a couple safety tools. We talked about lines and veils. I went over that again before play began. We are also making use of the X card. If you ever are uncomfortable at the table and need to remove something of the fiction, feel free to make the X sign with your hands, say X card, type X card into chat. We'll ask what's being X carded, but we will we'll take steps to remove it from the fiction. No questions asked. And finally, we are making use of script change, which is a set of terms derived from video editing that we use to help us talk about the fiction and safety at the table. So, with all that opening spiel gotten through, I hope I've bought you enough time, EL, because I'm going to turn to you to what mini game are we opening today's session with?
Okay, I was torn, but I think I've decided. If it's okay, I'd like to play what we once were again, because this is the second time I played it, but like this time with the captain. If that works for you, Leandro.
Yeah, this actually be helpful because like all the most we know about these two is like they were saucy together, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should also note that while we are approaching like the 3 minigame minimum per player, that we need to end the game, we are actually allowed to just keep playing until we run out of cards.
Cool.
Like we're allowed to like call it. It's just that once we all have 3, we're allowed to call the series at any time and have like our like climactic mini game, just as a reminder to folks how this works.
Okay.
This
But
is my
yeah,
third or second?
this is your second.
Okay.
I have it marked for us in our
Character keeper.
in our keeper next to the name of your character. I think there's like a tally mark.
Oh, that's what that is.
I was
Very
wondering
cool.
where that came from.
I was like, yes, this is separating my name from my playbook, but that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go through. So as always, what we once were is a mini game for 2 or more crew members to experience flashback, a direct look at the past that may hurt or strengthen us. This is a reflective and insightful time. When you choose this mini game, choose another character to explore your past with, someone who is essential in influencing who you are now. So, you are asking your chosen partner here, what moment triggered this flashback? So this is a question for you, Rosafina Blooming.
Yeah, I think at some point EL passes by the kind of the rec room of the ship, right? I guess we're on a ship. We have a ship, right? I assume so. The captain of the ship. I just like it's in my head. Ships. That's a good name for the ship. The sky reflected in grief. There we go. That's the name of the ship. it's a very emo ship name. There you go. I think EL passes by like the rec room, and I think you can hear like the TV is on really loudly, and I think you can it's if you like peek in, you see like there's a documentary being played, and it's a documentary about us. Um, um, it's a documentary about the notorious exploits of the sky reflected in grief. And I think um, it's and it's probably like a series of documentaries because these days there's not just one documentary. It's probably like a neo Netflix series. Um, and I think like each member has like a part, and Captain Blooming is right now on watching the episode about EL. And I think there is like they are talking. I think the talking heads, the pundits. No, it's not a docudrama. It's like, well, actually, no, it is a docudrama. Sorry, yes, Stephen, it absolutely is. So I think like the recreation is like kind of like what's being shown is like probably like a conversation, and basically whoever's playing EL is talking about their ties with this group that did the did the war crimes, which is as like I think I'm reading from your sheet, like that group like sent failed clones to the nano machine enemy. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that like because I think something we talked about is that like it's not widely known that the enemy exists even. So I'm curious if like from the perspective of the docudrama, that this organization is like an upstanding, part of society.
Oh yeah, because they're cleaning up failed clones.
Exactly.
Who are a menace, because they're I don't know. A lot of horrible words that probably
It's like greenwashing, but for this
Yeah.
terrible crime against all of humanity.
Yeah. So that's what's happening when EL's like passing by.
Yeah.
The volume is like loud enough that they can hear it because the door wasn't like fully closed.
Can I add to that, like
Mhm.
in this like clip of the actor playing EL, there's like a little bit like there's maybe the docudrama has also hinted at like relationships between people on the crew, and so there's like a little bit of like maybe they're like looking off the screen and like maybe like interacting with someone who could be the captain, someone who could not be captain. They just say words that like it like maybe the camera doesn't pan away, but you overhear a snippet of a conversation that's like weirdly casual or something, of whatever they were back in the day, whatever was between them.
I think you don't see Captain Blooming until like you notice like there's a big kind of like squashy armchair angle to the TV. That's always where Rosafina sits. It's like they're like they can like look tall because they're daring at certain parts, but like the armchair dwarfs them for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. Trigger this flashback.
Has the captain been watching like all of the episodes in a row?
Yeah,
or is this the thing they've been?
Yeah, I think maybe after like the end of the day or whatever we're doing to prepare, the captain always like comes here at night to watch this. Like the EL episode is like episode 5, let's say, 5 out of 7. The finale is Mother Rent.
Good stuff. Save the best for last.
Great. And as always, how are the two different from the last time we saw you?
It's wild having this when there's only 3 of us because we
see each other a lot.
We see each other a lot, yeah.
Yeah, the last time we saw EL, it was in that like training sequence, I think, with the captain. So they were all like they were focused, strapped into the exoskeleton, probably a little bit sweaty. And I think like this time they look soft. It's after hours, as far as after hours as you can get on the ship. And so maybe the camera hasn't seen them before. They're in their night jumpsuit, their pajama jumpsuit. And their hair is let down figuratively and literally. They look like they look like they've just stumbled out of bed and are just like wandering a hallway. And that's not a particular thing we've seen.
Yeah, I think Captain Booming is also similarly outfitted for sleep time. They have their fluffy slippers on, and I think like they they have a hairnet and a nightcap on, like literal like the floppy nightcap hat. Next thing you know, when they'll be holding a candlestick. I don't know why they dress up as Ebenezer Scrooge when they go to bed. Um, it's a weird affect, but this is my perception of old-fashioned clothing. It's the Victorian era, the 19th century, I guess.
In the Victorian era, everyone was an Ebenezer Scrooge cosplayer.
Exactly. Sober men of industry walking down the foggy streets of London to man the engines of commerce. There we go. That's who they all are. Anyway, this is a tangent.
Okay. So the player whose character fears the past the most takes the first turn. On your turn, choose if you live in memory of pain or memory of strength. Ask your partner to bring the memory to life with you. They answer freely. Which of his fears pass the most?
I'm not afraid.
Okay, fine, it's me.
I think I'm watching this docudrama.
The past is chasing me. Truffle just called me out.
How do you join this? You just like sit down nearby? Because I assume there's like there's probably like a couch and a couple other chairs. It's like the rec room.
Yeah.
There's a broken like air hockey table to the corner that's been broken for like probably close to a century now. There's like a mini jukebox that was stolen from that diner. All sorts of knickknacks, I guess.
I
Group
think
photo. There we go.
Oh, definitely a group photo.
Group photo.
Oh, that's the good stuff with like Brother Telecoms and the other characters whose name I've forgotten.
Yeah, Brother Telecoms, pretentious record player.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think EL joins this by like, I think like they watch from the doorway for a little bit. And then like the actor says something egregiously like overly dramatic that was just inserted for the drama. And they get like drawn in and they like sit in one of the other chairs. Maybe there's a bowl of popcorn and they just like grab a handful and like sit back and just kind of judgingly watch the portrayal of himself. And I think like, I don't know how good this portrayal of myself is. I think they take a lot of artistic license with some of the reactions.
I think like if you ask Captain Bloom,
and of course, because the organization is heroic, is like openly perceived as good, you are, you know, the angel that's fallen rather than the redeemed.
Yeah. Also, that jumpsuit is a bit too skin tight. It's too much.
But it's very stretchy fabric, which makes it comfortable for sleeping in. Or wait, no, the characters.
The character.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, sure. Yeah, it is more revealing than it actually was. Yeah, okay. So the first question I will ask, because I fear the past more, and I'm watching the past, a like fictionalized version of the past played before me. Yeah, I think this whole setup reminds me of when like us watching separately for the moment a show on the TV. It reminds me of when we spent an intimate night together, heedless of the danger. What cruelty did the morning bring us, and who made it crueler?
I think like without like tearing their eyes off the TV, Rosafina just like chimes up and says, "You missed the part where they dramatized our whole night the at the cargo hold at the Midnight Hunter, and which, well, for one thing, they made it that we had far less clothing than what we had on, and that it all ended fairly smoothly, which didn't really.
I think EL snorts a little at that and like rubs at their scar that commands attention, which I think it, like starts at their neck and like disappears down their like their shirt a little bit, and they just go, how exactly did it end? How did they even make it look like it ended well?
Well, they just, well, for one thing, they cut out all the recycling and refuse we had to hide in. They also just cut out the part where I'm gonna add another crew member because I remember, yeah, Sentry Black didn't want to come. Flash died.
I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a character named Flash. I remember this now. They died, and I'm gonna add a third one who betrayed us. Which I guess, yeah, give them a name. Why am I thinking on names? It's so annoying. Crane. There we go. Their name is Crane. Well, they left out the part where Crane sold us out and nearly had the box with the two of us tossed into a furnace.
So they just ignored that? Did they just cut Crane out of the story entirely?
Oh, no. You see, I think like Blooming will like speed up to the credits and you can see storyline consultant Dr. Crane they have a last name. There we go. I don't know why I keep making up names.
Just can't stop picking NPCs.
It can't stop. It's a problem. Just keep making NPCs. It's a problem. Crane Ramsey. There we go. Ramsey Crane. Storyline consultant. I think they just say, we made quite a good life, you know, just selling our stories. Doesn't anyone care, I guess.
I mean, that bastard. You'd think there would have been other footage, other reports of what happened that night. Ramsey just wipe it from existence? Do they have a connection? with a mind.
It's Ramsey's word against ours. You give yourself up to the mind, and the mind just makes whatever it wants reality, I guess. As far as the world's concerned, we're a fun, exciting group of ne'er-do-wells, and nothing more, really. We're a
Exciting.
yarn. Yeah, that's all we are.
I'm surprised Crane thinks that a happy ending would sell more than reality.
We're passing a space motorcycle over there. Oh, that's what. Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Oh, it was. I'm surprised that Crane thinks that a happy ending would sell more than reality. The reality of tragedy.
Happy endings you can build on and keep the story going. Tragedy is an end with an full stop. The happy ending, there's a to be continued to keep the story going on and on and on, never stopping, never ending.
That just dilutes the feeling behind it. I mean, the truffle is anything to go off. Hatred is a pretty strong emotion, and imagine that would get more people talking. You never remember what happened in the 1,000 episode of 1,000 seasons of Bachelor, whatever.
That's entertainment for you. Only you can tell like Captain Ruben sounds like tired. As like they kind of like skip back to like where they were in the docudrama. And
Start eating popcorn.
Yeah, I think like later on, there's a dramatized fight, I guess, and I think it reminds you of a memory. You were there when I was at my strongest, when I shone the brightest among all other stars. What did I say or do to help you find your shine? I assume this is that's a typo. Your shine next to me.
Yeah, I think it's help you shine next to me. I think that's what the typo was meant to read.
Yeah. I think that this was I think maybe this is like towards the end of this episode of the docudrama. It does like a montage of Ehel's time on the ship. And I think like it in the docudrama itself, it shows a flashback to like the initial meeting of the captain and El. Like maybe they're somewhere that looks a little bit like a scientific laboratory. El is wearing a lab coat. And I think like the captain in this montage is so dashing, just standing so straight. Like the music is probably triumphant, and there's probably like, I would almost say like a shine on them literally in the camera. And I think it's just the time that you invited me to join the crew. Like there's a handshake on the screen. There's shots of like our first conversations. And I think like bringing me onto the crew was how you helped me shine, because otherwise I would have been somewhere else. I don't know, a drone in the the group that was helping out the nanomachines or whatever.
Yeah, I think like Captain Blooming is like looking critically at the scene and it's like, it's a wonder you heard anything I said under all that music.
They wouldn't have gotten it right anyway.
Mhm. I doubt that's how it went.
I mean, they're trying to say that I came from what name did they give the organization? Stellar Laboratories. That's hardly what we actually called ourselves.
I think like you can tell like Captain is withholding a question. It's like, well, what did you call yourselves? But we'll kind of like not press the point. But I think like I think as like the scene kind of like will turn the credits, I think they'll just say, I'm glad you said yes. Really am.
I think a complicated emotion crosses EL's face. And then they said, I would probably be in a far worse place if I hadn't said yes. I have to admit, I might have silver eyes and not be entirely in myself by now. Otherwise,
I think like you mentioned silver eyes and Rosafina will kind of like blink and press next episode. And I think what did I say? Yeah, EL is like episode 3. We'll say Crane Ramsey or Ramsey Crane or whatever is episode 4. And it's gonna be insufferable. It's gonna be a while before we get to Mother Rent. For sure. But yeah, I think everyone's had a turn. Do you want to keep going? Have any more memories you want to bring up?
I'm good. Unless you have other things you'd like to bring up.
Yeah, I want to bring up a memory of pain.
Okay.
Gosh. It's like it feels like oh, there's a siren. Oh, great stuff. Actually, you know what? Yeah, this. I don't know if there's like any pain. There's much. There must be pain between us. I think like it's something I want to bring up after like Captain Blooming has said, "Yeah, no, God, you said yes." Ooh, they're all very good. You made a mistake, and I faced the consequences on your behalf. What terrible price did I pay, and why can you never repay me?
Yeah. I think this whose episode are we watching now? Like on this docudrama? Is it Crane's?
Yeah, it's Crane's.
And Crane is a doctor.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think this is Crane and Ike. I think like that we see in this docudrama, like it's Crane and I operating on Rosafina, like because maybe we were collaborating to after like something happened to your clone body, we were like helping like refit you with a new body, new parts. And I think we just see Crane and EL like conversing on the screen, and they're talking about like they're talking about doing something experimental during this operation, and I think like as this is being dramatized, Yale is just like making the most pained face. I think she there's a cat. I think she looks down at like the bowl of popcorn and she's like, I don't know, Crane, I didn't know what we were doing was going to do that to you.
Yeah, I think like you feel like the captain is gonna like kind of like stiff watching this. Um, and I think like you can hear them like sigh, and they say, "You an asshole is gonna be an asshole."
Sorry, what was the first part of that?
Decides like who knew an asshole is gonna be an asshole.
Okay, I should have known, probably. I was too curious. And it seemed like it would be beneficial to you at the time.
I'm gonna
Um,
step in because I have a
yeah.
question out of curiosity, Captain Bleeming.
Mhm.
Is this surgery, whatever happened here, this experiment, is this why you need the cane now?
Yeah, I think so. I think like this like messed up like the captain's kind of like neurons and did it in a way that like kind of like embedded it in their genetic code. So whenever they be like recloned, this like
Mhm.
neurological kind of like um defect or so stays. And
Yeah.
I think captain's kind of like I think like you know like you know them slacking a bit and try to release the tension, but they kind of like say it was never really the same after that.
Does it still hurt?
Never told anyone this, but that was kind of the beginning of the end for us, really. I forgot what I was saved in this drama for an episode of night. And I think like they stand up, leaning on the cane. And you can see like they're favoring it like a bit more than usual lately. You're you're free to keep watching.
I don't think I need to be reminded. And their eyes are like fixed on like the grip that you have.
Cool. So it sounds like it's time to pull us in here to the conclusion of the minigame. So the one who revealed the most during the flashback chooses a revelation here. Who do we think revealed the most during this flashback?
EL revealed the whole like or revealed a bit of the whole like this is like if you hadn't been there you know I made the offer it would have been a drone. The captain revealed the whole that surgery was the beginning of the end for like the crew. At least that's how she
Like, you
felt.
know, the beginning of the end of the crew is a big thing in the space of this game.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, Rosafina, you get to pick one of those three revelations at the end.
Ooh. God, there are good consequences of what's been revealed. I think like just in the mood of what's kind of like, of what Captain Bloom revealed. I think this is a hurt they've been carrying for a while. Not just the physical one, but like the emotional one. I think the memories have to crack under the pressure of the present. Um, I think like it seems like, yeah, they're frozen in time, but seeing them all warped and changed by this docudrama, I think it like, yeah, I think let me read out that full thing because we are being recorded. It seems like memories are frozen in time, but they suddenly crack under the pressure of the present. We both reveal something that changes the context of our memories.
Okay, I have mine. I think the thing that is revealed here changes the con. Is this rebuilding character or just like in player level? I don't
This is
remember
revealed
reading.
in character. You both reveal this to the other.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me think how EL does this then. If you have yours already, you can go ahead because I gotta think how this happens in character.
I have it, but I want you to go first because it's a bit. I think it's kind of a something I thought of on the spot, but like I kind of want to see what you have first.
Okay,
It's a bit of a revelation.
Well then, I think the way EL reveals something that changes the context is I think like as you're like getting up ready to leave, they reach into like the pocket of their pajama jumpsuit and like pull out a USB drive. And their hand is shaking a little bit because they didn't really want to do this, but I mean they needed to get everything out before more things happened between them. They'll hold it out to you and I think they'll say, this is everything that was sent between me and the laboratories. You should know that it wasn't just Crane's idea. It was, we were told to do that to you. You should know going into whatever it is we're doing that I was in contact with them.
I think like Captain Brewing stares at the offered like USB drive and like leans on her cane a bit and just kind of like laughs. It's like a sad kind of like laugh. It's a bit hysterical. And as you're doing it, they're gonna take the USB drive, you can like look at it, and as the laughter dies down, say, "Well, I'm glad that everyone keeps tabs on everyone. funny, funny thing, the what happened afterwards. I suspected Crane. I wasn't sure if I wanted to suspect you. So, you know how I said that was the beginning of the end? Well, when this condition developed, maybe I got a bit desperate. Maybe I got a bit. I got a bit desperate. I needed to reach to. I needed to. I wasn't sure who to trust, who to contact, but well, there are some certain folks who promised that they could help. All they needed is to do for us to do a job. Just, you know, steal a little super weapon. That didn't seem too hard. And they said that they could adjust me. Well, I don't know if the offer still stands, but since we're gearing up to meet with them sometime in the future, maybe it still stands. What the captain's basically saying is like the people who employ you for your final job is the enemy, basically. That's what they're kind of implying.
Wait, the enemy banana machines?
Yeah, the nanomachine planet.
Okay, banana machine planet. For the last job that we did, or the
Yes,
job that
they
we're
were-
currently doing?
No, the last job
Okay,
we did, the one that
okay,
broke
okay.
up the crew.
Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how EL reacts to that. They thought theirs was
Well,
gonna
let's
be.
draw a card to see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Imagine we
Oh,
both draw
God.
black. How does that?
We told each other secrets. That's what happened.
True.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, imagine if I draw
Well,
like
because
Joker.
you are actually like I want to say Mother Rent is technically not in the scene, but you actually can give the card to Mother Rent. Like it doesn't say, I don't think it says you have to give
Yeah.
it to someone in the scene. You can give it and like
Yeah,
narrate
Oh,
like
it's
an
true.
aside where like, you know, this was all so fucking terrible that you go to Mother Rent for something and like
We
get closer
both
to
go
her.
to Mother Rent.
Exactly.
Separately.
I'm just throwing that out there as like,
Yeah.
it's an option.
If this were a comedy.
Yeah. Who wants to? This is your mini game. You
All
draw
right,
first.
I'll draw first. Well, it's a 10. It's black.
Okay, so
All right.
here are the options here. When you draw black, you can keep the card and briefly describe how loyalty is regained. What this regained loyalty looks like, a changed relationship, a new belief, a growing hope, etc. Or you can give the card to another player and briefly describe a moment of closeness between the two you and them.
Yeah, I think I am gonna keep the card. I think it's maybe not the healthiest thing to keep the card and say that loyalty is regained because of the scene. But I think it's like it is like we both revealed hella bad things to each other here. And I think like EL thinks that like knowing this secret now ties the bond between them a little stronger. Like EL doesn't know if the captain has told anyone else this, but EL is going to believe that the captain has saved this particular tidbit of information.
Yeah. Now that we've both betrayed each other, we can be friends.
Yeah.
No more betraying. No, that's it. This is the last betrayals. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. So Leandra, do you want to draw?
I get another red one. It's gonna be or another Joker. I'm rooting for it. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So are you gonna keep that or are you gonna give it away to someone?
Let's see. I think like I'm gonna keep it. Or keep it or give it to Mother Rent. No, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's a healthy, loyal relationship. I think it's the loyalty. What is the loyalty game? It's an awful shit that's been revealed. I think like loyalty regain, I think it's like to the crew, to the mission. It's kind of, it's a very selfish kind of like loyalty. It's more like I think that in Captain Blooming's mind, the two that she managed to wrangle here are the best of like what she realizes is kind of a bad bunch, but like actually no. Maybe Captain Blooming's realized that she actually has wrangled maybe the worst that isn't Dr. Crane. Aka the ones most like the ones that who are best suited for this mission. And I think there's a reason why they haven't gone to anyone else who's like still alive, either because they're better off or like they can't be trusted to be anyone other than themselves. And yeah, I think like oh, go ahead, Stephen. Yeah,
I was gonna say, besides the one we did go to that tried to murder us.
Okay, right, yeah, that was the last one. That was the last one. And God, there's a Brother Telecoms episode here as well. Somewhere, probably episode 5. I'm gonna make an order of these episodes later. But yeah, I think that's the new kind of like belief. Is that these two are the best suited for this mission because, well, because they're the ones who most deserve to have to do this again. And the captain includes herself in that regard.
Cool. So to check in, we're now all up to 2 mini games, so any of us can volunteer a game at this point. I'm kind of eyeing through them now. I'm wondering if EL or Rosafina have any immediate thoughts. Okay. I have a thought, but oh, Rosafina, it looks like you have something.
I was gonna ask if you had a thought.
I'm wondering. So I'm looking, and it's been a while since we've really had we haven't had a kind of, we had the training montage last time and the attack before and like the battle before that. I'm wondering if this time I'm looking at Before We Lose It All, which is on page 49. We weren't ready for this trap, which I think definitely describes us at this point. We're just such messes at the moment. Like I'm almost wondering if because this is the enemy Before We Lose It All is a mini game for crew members who are caught off guard when the enemy attacks and boards the ship. You see a glimpse of what the enemy is capable of, and you are forced to make difficult decisions. So I feel like this is a good kind of turning point. We're kind of moving into approaching like our confrontation to have this. And I almost want to say moving in that somehow we should involve Dr. Crane in this.
Dr. Crane.
But does that work for folks going with this mini game?
Yeah.
Cool. So playing this mini game. When a player chooses to play this mini game, everyone draws one card from the deck. So I called for this game, so I'll draw first. Okay, black, I believe, means that I am away. Yes, everyone who has drawn a black card is on an away mission and not present when the enemy attacks. They keep the card in their hand. So I'm going to add this card to my hand. And Rosafina or EL, why don't you go next?
Okay, I'll go. Oh,
Okay, you get to add that to your hand.
yeah.
Okay, EL.
Oh no.
No, what's gonna happen to me?
It's just
So-
I
you.
drew a red
This goes
card.
to the enemy pile.
Great. I don't deserve this pain.
Everyone who's drawn a red card is present when the trap is sprung. This card is placed in the enemy's pile. Each crew member on the ship describes what has changed about them since we last saw them. So what has changed about you since we last saw you? I imagine at least a little time has passed because both Rent and Captain Blooming are away on this mission.
Yeah. What has changed about me since we last saw them? I am wearing I think I'm wearing like a piece of tech, like maybe an eyepiece that I have created to help me interface with my exoskeleton. So I've like started to install new tech so that eventually I will be ready to actually use that exoskeleton in battle. So I'm giving it a test
Cool.
run.
Oh man, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, have you like received of course, a coded transmission from someone else that has access to the laboratories, you know, old like the old secret channel you used to have with them lights up, and it's Dr. Crane. That's what pulled you into this trap.
Yeah. I think like EL spends a long time just ignoring like the flashing light, but like you can't ignore that forever. And so they open that up.
I think like you hear, I think as soon as you open up, you think you hear kind of like an automated message kind of like saying, "Oh, Dr. Crane isn't here right now, but if you'd like to make an appointment, please look out of your window to see the moon oncoming to your view. Be sure to swerve in 5 to 20 seconds."
Oh, are you throwing out because you have a turn here, Leandra? You can choose to tell a crew member to choose a challenge or to choose a vulnerability.
Yeah, I think let's say challenge. Let's give EL a chance to shine.
Yeah. So you have 3 choices there.
Okay, yeah, I think like EL swerves, like they're sitting in this chair and they sort of look out the window when they get that and they see the oncoming moon. And I think like they run over to like a computer bank. I know of a way to reprogram our defenses and weaken the enemy greatly, but there is no safe path to the computer core. And I think like maybe the reason why there's no safe path to computer core is that the ship is like both Mother Rent and Brother Telecom's like, wait, is Brother Telecom's a mind too? Yes. Right. Yeah. Like they have maybe altered it such that it's particularly difficult for someone who isn't an AI to interact with the system. So like something could go really wrong if I mess anything up. And I think I have to draw a card. It's a
Yeah.
black card.
Yeah, so there's a thing that the black should tell you to do there, but I think you keep
Yeah.
that card.
Yeah. It takes skill, bravery, and an extreme amount of luck, but I clear the path for us and we strengthen the defenses. I keep this card in my hand. And I will say that I think like EL has also just sent out like a distress message to the rest of the people on the away mission. So hopefully you come back from that away mission sooner rather than later.
I think like as you can like do that, you send out Dr. Crane pipes in through the channel again, and we'll just like say, you know, the folks on this planet are usually quite accommodating with wanting interesting people on board with their project, the laboratories included, but they really had to go follow Captain Blooming into oblivion again. I don't really like her for some reason. I have a guess or two, but really, I don't need to tell you since you're going to die, EL.
Oh yeah, choose a vulnerability here, Yel.
Thanks. The enemy is focused on sabotaging our essential tech and equipment, which could cost us everything. Do either of you have an idea of what that is?
I think like the moon has there's just a moon now floating near the ship. And I think like you can see that I think like the moon has shot out like what looks like kind of like an asteroid, but it's like a it's like a shifting nano asteroid, and it's like latched onto like the ship, and it's like as it does, it's kind of solidifying into like a cylindrical kind of like structure. Because just realized one of the options here is ooh, I think like it starts like it's a big cylindrical structure that's kind of like starts bearing into the ship, and I think that's when like enemies start to like I mean it's no small moon, Maria. Or it is actually no, it is a small moon. Haha. Um, sorry, I was watching some shenanigans in the chat. I think like yeah, I think the enemy is like kind of like they've sent out like a big ship that sent out a smaller ship that's like starting to like insert people in, as in like trying to like get people to board our ship. So I'm imagining big moon is sent out, or small moon, it's sent out kind of like a small ship that I think has shot out this like these 10 this like tube that are kind of like tentacles or tendrils, and it's kind of like trying to pierce the ship, and it's gonna like send people out through those like tubings like to board the ship.
Cool.
So you're either sneaking and stealing what's essential for a mission under the enemy's nose, in which case you'll draw a card, or you wait until the enemy walks into a trap you had laid for them. And you don't care how much of your equipment you have to destroy to carry out this trap.
Yeah, I think like since I'm the only person on board the ship right now, trying to sneak in and steal what we need isn't gonna work exactly. No one is going to be able to cover me. no one's going to be able to like watch the ships all. So I am going to wait until the enemy walks into a trap I laid for them, and I don't care how much of our equipment I destroy to do so. And I think so they're like tendrils that are sending people to try to board our ship, essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm so sorry, my fellow crew members, but I think like as like as the tendrils like make contact and like they start trying to send people over, I am like at this little command center desperately typing out, please come back to you. I'm also just like slamming shut like like I forgot what they're called, like blast doors between like the distant parts of the ship that the tendrils are touching, and basically opening airlocks such that like our stuff and the people they're sending are like being blasted out into the vacuum of space. And so whatever's not tied down is going away.
And what's
Also,
being
we
tied
might
down? Everything outside of the command center?
so like I don't know, depending on where these tendrils are hitting on board the ship. I think like if I can see where they're hitting, I'm closing the blast doors to that section and just being like jettisoning out pieces of
The ship.
the ship. Or
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
Okay.
So
They
here's
can't
the question
survive.
then. You're the only player here, so you automatically get to decide the ending.
Yeah.
Um,
Why?
so you
Oh
get to pick
no.
one of those 4 endings for how this mini game ends. The enemy leaves chaos and carnage in their wake. The enemy targeted our weakness. We lost almost everything, or one of us activates the self-destruction sequence.
Not that one.
You don't want an early night in? Right? Or I guess it's just for you.
Bye. No,
I don't think that it ends the game. It's just that we are self-destructing the ship and we
Ship,
figure
yeah.
out what goes on from there.
yeah. I want to say the enemy leaves chaos and carnage in their wake. In this case, mostly the ship carnage. I think maybe I am relatively unharmed. It's up to you. And we all suffer huge losses. But the enemy leaves behind something that gives us a glimmer of hope. What is it? This is the question I ask to you two.
Ooh, maybe um maybe it's like one last message from Dr. Crane. And um I think like at at the wake of it, maybe like we fend off the ship and managed to get away from Big Moon that's chased us, and think pick up Booming and Rent wherever they were. They went to do, they for some reason whoever's playing this not Mass Effect game downloaded like the beach content DLC, and that's where okay, no, they didn't do that. They were just away in a mission.
I mean, I was gonna suggest that we had that we do like one of the cooldown mini games between
Yeah,
you
we
and
probably-
me.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
probably will do
yeah.
that
Like
instead,
it's
yeah.
either like what like I have some ideas for you to pick from, Leandra, because I
Okay.
can't choose the next
This
one.
is exciting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I want to hear those ideas in a moment.
Can't wait
I
to
think-
find out what you were doing while I was almost dying.
Yeah, I think like yeah, you see like the channel to Dr. Crane is still open. It's like it's another like message, and I think when you open it, it is coordinates of where the planet is going to be and the kind of where it stops. And I think like there's like a kind of like note or like message in the kind of like in the kind of like the data packet of this like this message. And I think um it's just like a small note that just kind of says y'all are meant to be heroes, right? Then go be heroes. So there's
Crane
like,
doesn't understand us at all.
yeah, well, yeah, well, okay, so
No, that's fine. I think that's fair. That's totally fair. I was just
yeah,
being
no, yeah,
sarcastic.
no, I think they probably there's probably some sort of arc happening on their end as well, where like, you know, they betrayed the crew, they became like, you know, sleazy, like in selling our stories, but now they're forced to work for the enemy, and now they're gonna give the crew like, you know, a glimmer. It's as a glimmer of hope. So this is like a chance. We know where the planet's going to be. At least where the planet is going to be in the next couple of cycles or so.
So, let me just open up this game here. Is there anything else we should do here?
Oh, the drawing the card.
Yeah, if we could draw the card. Yep.
Okay.
Drawing a lot of cards.
Oh, see, we're getting all the blacks now.
Yeah. I'm keeping this. Oh, God. I don't know if loyalty should be regained here. I was left alone on the ship.
I mean, maybe it's that like you realize even though Crane is kind of a fuck up, there's something worth saving about him.
Yeah, you remember why he was
Yeah.
a part of this crew.
Yeah, I guess I can have that moment of loyalty to Crane.
You're so resentful that you have to have a positive feeling about Crane.
Yeah.
I guess
think-
I can have a positive feeling about
Like,
him.
I guess
Yeah,
he's not as bad as maybe he's not
Other
all bad. Like
telecoms.
maybe, yeah, I was like thinking maybe he's not as, maybe if I, a possible war criminal, I'm a terrible person, Crane can also be redeemed a little bit. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say the two of you are united in a mutual, not a
yeah,
mutual.
we
betrayal,
did
but
a bad thing to you.
Yeah, you did a bad. The two of you did a bad together.
Yeah. I just want you all to know that EL is so pissed when you come back. Like the ship is like probably has like huge dents in it, like is just in complete disarray. I'm sorry if anything important is missing, but like
Yeah,
she is
You
so
see-
pissed.
you see that, yeah, the other two are like wearing the swimsuit DLC that they got from grinding out these beach missions. And I love that like this game is just based on Mass Effect 2, so it's like, all right, okay. Thanks, Maria. None of y'all are watching this. We'll get to know what crimes are happening in the chat.
Yeah, so
yeah, exactly. Let's move on.
so like on the question of like the mini game, because I'm almost thinking, because I picked one, so I need to let everyone have a turn first. But like I'm almost wondering like if we are going to like have this big action sequence, if like we're doing like blowing off steam somewhere on this away mission, or I mean, even there was a lot of emotional stuff that went on. I mean, if for whatever reason you wanted to find relief in Mother Rent's arms, we could figure out what that looks like.
Ooh. Let's do. The thing is, like, I kind of want to. Is there a possible intimacy?
Yeah, there's
like
possible intimacy.
okay.
The last time we touched.
Maybe the captain had this with everyone in the crew. Who's to say? That's my name.
Look, it's why you miss them all.
Yeah, that's why when they're watching
I
the
mean, but do
docudrama,
you want to have had a thing with Dr. Crane? Do you want that for your character?
even
I
the
mean,
captain
no, I'm
makes bad
asking
decisions.
Leandro. I'm asking Leandro, so of course you want that.
Yep. Yeah. You can tell we haven't played together in a while. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Crane. I'm also thinking of Cillian Murphy. Damn, that's because he's a Dr. Crane in that. Dr. Ramsey. There we go. That's his other name.
I'm just imagining the scarecrow.
Yeah, exactly. This is the creepy weirdo.
Like he was just wearing that mask the entire time on the ship.
And they're like, yeah, look.
That's the first thing that attracted you to him.
It's like, oh, what's under that mask? Um, I'm curious. I'm
Sorry. A lot of.
Oh, okay.
But no, what are you picking, Leandro? Go ahead.
Ooh. Because because we've not really like built up much of what is the actual relation between Mother Rent and Captain Blooming, really. So it's a bit of a open bit of an open question.
I mean, we can even do like we can even do somehow what we once were if you wanted as well.
Yeah, let's do the last time we touched. I think maybe let's just do it. I think like the captain is feeling a bit love starved after the betrayal reveal.
Sorry, I was just laughing at Maria's gestures for anyone who is only listening.
Maria has great gestures. That's one of the beauties of playing with her. Okay, so the last time we touched, will my feelings finally reach you? God, it's hard to love a lot of people, especially when two of them are like incomprehensible age ship AIs. Even Brother Telecoms. The last time we touched is a mini game for 2 or more crew members. 2 or more, Jesus. Exploring a moment of uncertain intimacy. When you choose this mini game, choose at least one other character to be in the scene with you. Someone who makes you feel vulnerable and lonely. Or just can join the scene whenever they want. Yeah, no, I think EL's busy fighting off the enemy. Yeah, so I guess I ask you what the present circumstances are.
Oh. So I mean, we kind of were talking about like this being an away mission of some sort. I almost imagine maybe like there is this moment, like because we talked about the other ship being attacked. Maybe we were attacked as well. And like Mother Rent isn't gonna die here. like she knows that. She's like just has like a part of herself running on this like shuttle that we're on. But like there's a good chance that Captain Blooming is gonna die, and she is almost comforting Captain Blooming in this, like, not necessarily at the start sexual. We'll see where this goes, because I think the ends don't necessarily all lead to or this one doesn't have an end, does it? Any player may interrupt to have their character.
Oh yeah, this
like,
is just stealing time together, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, it doesn't necessarily run to like, you know, the intimacy can end at just like light touching. I think that that's kind of almost how it's starting, that like the oxygen is running low on our shuttle. For some reason, our ship has like gone incommunicado for some reason. And like I think we've like, you've tried everything, and like at this point it's a matter of waiting for like EL to actually like ping us on comms and retrieve our shuttle, maybe.
I think like I'm a bit delirious on the controls, and I'm like, because the oxygen is running down, I think they say, don't worry. If I remember correctly, somewhere in that direction, galactic north, there is a ship graveyard where a bunch of salvage workers have set up a work camp. Like we could just if we can just drift the shuttle that way, then we should be fine. We should be okay. In fact, I think you'll be probably fine. But let me tell you right now, it's going to be okay. This is not the worst part we've been in. So I'm just gonna direct this shuttle
Yeah,
that
and
way.
what has changed about us since we last saw each of these characters?
I think whenever the white streak that Captain Blooming has in their hair has grown, so it's like just basically half their hair now.
Oh, I think Mother Rent is venting sorrow. Like I think like from that wound that vents emotion. I think like you can feel that Mother Rent is like already mourning you. Rosafina. Like I think that is like you can just feel that coming off of like the streaming like emotion light of these pierced holes within her head.
Yeah, I think like I feel that emotion. And to say the player whose character feels the most vulnerable takes the first turn. I think
Yeah,
that's me,
I think
obviously.
that's definitely you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, um, let me actually read the advances because they're a bit different.
Yeah, so basically the way that this mini game works is you pick an advance and you ask the may I, and then I have a series of answers down there that are either qualified like may ands or may not, like may ands, may buts, may not ands, may not buts.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of like yes and to the no but kind of spectrum.
Oh, yeah. I think all right, let's start first. Okay. I think like yeah, you feel the psychic sorrow coming out of this like scar. I think that actually annoys Rosafina. And I think like yeah, they lock the control so that the shuttle is like drifting is like the tiniest bit of energy to boost like to like make the engine like boost for a bit, and then that's it. Everything's concentrated on oxygen, and I think yeah, that locks it into place, which also turns the shuttle into mood lighting, because the engines are being depowered, so to conserve as much oxygen as possible. Um, and I think like they look angry. They turn to like Mother Rent, and they look like angry at all this kind of sorrow that's like being coming out, and they kind of to reach for it, and they say, I've I can't say I've missed feeling what you're feeling. You're literally an open wound, aren't you? Um, I want to touch your hair and tell you how I've dreamed of you. May I?
Okay, let me see what these. Yeah, I say. Ooh. Thank you, Maria. You may. I don't want to go with one of these buts, but only for a moment. Let's talk about the past first. And I think that as you touch my hair, I imagine Mother Rent is pretty massive by like even her like shells are probably like at least a foot taller than you, Captain Blooming, I have to imagine.
Mhm.
Kind of looks down at your eyes and says, I had never imagined that you would ever be willing to admit vulnerability, Blooming. You've changed more than I thought you had.
You and me both. You and me fucking both. It's 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 actually easy to look so mysterious and dashing and intoxicating. You know how you do it? You just don't say anything. It's actually so little effort. And and it's 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 easy to say nothing when you don't want to say anything. And then people project what they thought and what they believed. And ever since you got this scar, I think like their hands kind of like lightly like not touch it, kind of like brush over it.
Yeah, you know what? I think the hair, like I was almost imagining when you mentioned it, because I don't know if I was thinking like, does Mother Red have hair? I think like the hair is like actually like the flowing like emotion light that comes out of these wounds in my head. Like that is the hair.
God. Ever since you got this scar, you've always been the most naked with your emotions. It wasn't hard to tell how you felt. It made keeping shut harder. Instead, you were just in my dreams. All sorts of dreams. I think like after like a at that moment, like yeah, I think they can Captain Booming feels like the oxygen can like taper a bit, and they can like kind of lean back and have to like lean against like the chair of like the the pilot chair.
I like almost quirk my mouth in what is, as we kind of talk about the eyes in the book, this way that is like reminiscent, you're sure, of some other quirk, like flirtatious quirk somewhere in like that I've recorded at some point in my memory. Mysterious, certainly, but do you think you're giving yourself a little too much credit, Blooming?
You have to if you have to survive in this universe. You have to bet on yourself. I suppose it's a touch arrogant, but I suppose I just take after who I'm based on.
Oh, I think. Oh, let's see. What am I going to pick here? I think that I want to touch your hand and describe a strength I perceive in you. May I?
Um, You may, and then I remain silent in response. Because I think I'm just like looking at your hand as it touches mine.
When things ended, I was convinced that you were merely what you appeared to be, a a player at someone playing the role that they were given so desperately, but they were incapable of change, of self-awareness. But I can see now that you've grown, you've learned, you've changed since I've seen you. And that makes you shows me that you are a far stronger person than whatever, and I kind of gesture with my other hand at you in general, whatever performance you are carrying out here.
I think the captain, again, getting delirious because the oxygen is like slowly becoming more. It's kind of like laughs but cries at the same time. It's like it's an ugly kind of like noise. It's like a laugh cry, a craft. That's not a word. And, and I think like um I think like they kind of like say, well, how do you think that? I think really what's just changed so I can admit how small I am in the grand scheme of things. Because look at you. I'm, I'm going to be dead in momentarily, and yet look at you. You're still fine. You're still alive. And after it ended, I thought that was it. Whatever purpose I had, gone, snuffed away. I don't know how I got through it, but I bet you're still so. I want to touch your cheek and tell you how special you are. Yeah.
You may, but then I withdraw and bear my secret pain or shame to you.
Okay. So I think yeah, as Captain Boom is like deliriously saying that, your hand on there still try to reach out for your cheek, and like yeah, brush it for like a moment and kind of feel. It's not flesh, is it? It's some.
I think it's like simul flesh. Like these are my more kind of like human like body shells that I'm on the ship here with you with.
Mhm.
It feels fleshy, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm a bit surprised by how fleshy it feels. But yeah, you withdraw.
Oh yeah, but you also tell me how, because
Oh,
I
how special.
withdraw.
Yeah.
Yeah, after your thing.
Sure. I think sorry, I had a thought and then it went away. You this you bear yourself to the world so much, but this despite it all, you're still you. Despite everything, I walked into that shrine and you're much like how I knew you. Sorrowful, ethereal, yet still defiant.
You started whispering there, and I couldn't hear
Oh,
the end.
yeah. Basically, I just rattled down your qualities. I'm sorrowful, ethereal, yet still defiant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a pause, and I pull away. I am none of those things blooming. I am, in the end, a weapon. I have not shared this with you until now because I did not know if you would still have me here, if that is the case. But I am the one that created the enemy, that released the weapon upon them. And I am here to burn myself away if I must to correct that mistake.
Um, the cry laughing continues. And I think like um Captain Boone says, it's weak for revelations, huh? But you know what, Mother Rent? That only barely changes anything. You say you're here to burn for your sins. You're not the only one. Why do you think it's just you, me, and EL? We're all meant to fucking burn for our sins. We all had a hand on this planet. You brought it to life. Well, I, I, well, I'm a product of it. You see, you see. And I think like they kind of like stretch their eyes, and you can see like the silver that's like encroaching, in their eyeballs. I'm, I'm, I'm a, I, I don't know, some sleeper agent, some waiting defect that's gonna bring everything down. And you know what he else crew did? They provide fuel. This is all gonna end as you said, and it's going to be the three of us who's gonna burn and take the planet with us.
I want to touch your back and pull you into embrace and tell you how much I want to be touched by you. May I?
You may. I think I remain silent in response because I don't think I'm expecting this.
Oh, I pull you into this embrace and I whisper to you that when you will burn inside of me. And it may be for an eternity. And I'm kind of cool pulling a curtain there.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the detail that like at this. I don't know if I think the captain is such a vulnerable state that like when she hears that pulled into that hug, she's like shocked, and the cry laughing just becomes crying. Does it turn into a attempt at a sloppy kiss? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
But
we
I'm
fade
gonna
to
kind of
black before we find out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whew. All right. All right. Yeah. At the end of the mini game, we draw a card.
Yeah, I'll pull first. Oh, actually, no, it's your turn. This was your mini game, Leandro, even though I pressured you into it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put the card. Beautiful. Loyalties regained. Um, I'm gonna keep this card because it's gonna be a changed relationship. I think like
Mhm.
having this like open like conversation with Mother Rent. I think it is not card for the captain. Like yeah, we're all kind of on in an even playing field in terms of like how fucked up we all are, or at least Captain Blooming isn't even playing field with the two of you. I don't know if the two of you are an even playing field with each other,
Yeah,
but I think as part of Captain rules, I think this is it. I laid myself bare to the two of you, and the two of you have done so in return. There we go. We're a crew now. But I see you drew a red there.
yeah, and I see how much Maria has typed out here.
Let me see this. Whoa, that's a paragraph and a half. Oh, I like there's emojis. How did you do that?
Yeah, and I think let's see. There's gonna be I drew a red, so the enemy needs to grow stronger somehow. I think. I don't know how. Let's see. What was the last thing we saw? I think. I think we begin to see, because we kind of talked about how they had begun to infiltrate the conversation. I think we begin to see this almost loving embrace of one of the aid ships. And then that embrace within this kind of visualization of the conversation turns more into a choking vine. And we can see that they have infested and taken control of this aid ship. Cool. So, EL, you were the last
Yeah.
person. I think we started with you, and it's actually we for once got through more than 3 mini games.
Yes. Good job, us.
Yeah. What
It really
is
helped that one of them was only one person was participating.
yes?
Yeah. Sure, help. It did. Let me see. I think let me just look at these real quick. I have an idea of what I want, but just to make sure, I'm gonna look at the list and make sure there's something else. Yeah, I think I am interested in playing. Who do you think you are with Mother Rent? Like, I kind of want to just get a sense of their relationship. We haven't seen them since. We've seen a little bit of them, but like
Yeah, we saw like the should I nuke these people? Yes or no? And you were like, maybe. That seems like an
Yeah.
idea. That seems like a good idea to consider.
I mean, I was also like, I don't know. Do you really care about this place that much? Like, is it really good for us to have these many feelings about
Okay,
all of these people?
I was hearing that in a different way. Like, do you really like when
Okay.
you said it? I was like, do you really care about this place that much that you shouldn't nuke it? That was how I was hearing it at the
Yeah.
time.
Could be either, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Does that work for you, Steven? For this
Yeah.
game?
Let me pull that up here.
It's on
Let's see.
page 36.
Yeah. So, who do you think you are? Yeah, I said what I said. Who do you think you are is a minigame for two crew members on the verge of a full-blown confrontation, dragging hidden and unnamed emotions into the light. When you choose this minigame, choose another character to be in the scene with you, someone who brings out the worst in you. Others can join the scene whenever they want. So first off, for playing this mini game, ask your chosen partner what sparked this confrontation and why neither of you can back down. There's a lot of things to confront me about at this moment. Like I feel like probably the initial thing is this whole attack on the ship. Like I think that's probably what
Yeah.
sparked it. And like you come going like, where the fuck were you both for this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason neither of us can back down I think
Did you like lose something in the huge confrontation? Like, did I get rid of something that was important to you, or
maybe,
like was it when I was trying to hack into
but
the
I'm almost thinking
computer?
of why
Or
we can't back
yeah,
down. Like I think did you somehow did Captain Blooming let slip our whole like agreeing to the suicide pact thing on this mission together? And so like that's why neither of us can back down because I'm not going to like say no, I'm not going to like destroy myself with Captain Blooming on this mission. And like you clearly and you don't want that.
yeah. I mean, I think I would prefer if Captain Blooming was not destroyed. Uh, I think maybe it's like I think that you're dragging them into like the fire with you,
Yeah.
and like my loyalty is entirely to the captain. Maybe at this point for now. So like,
And
well,
I'm just doing what the captain has agreed to do with me. Which is destroy ourselves on this mission. Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
definitely why we can't back down.
yeah.
Ask your chosen part. Okay, and then this is I also choose what's at
Yeah.
stake. Yeah, I think that second one makes sense. The ship is in dire need of repairs, but it'll take the two of us to fix it. Or yeah, maybe this is even this confrontation like Captain Blooming is right there. Like this just all coming out right with her like right there. Maybe you're still kind of like woozy from like being brought onto the ship.
Yeah, I
Like
think
we have you on oxygen at the moment. Like
yeah,
you can only interject things between oxygen masks.
yeah, and I think like I'm just maybe just like too tired to like even interject. And I'm just
Yeah.
like watching this.
Does that work for you, EL?
Yeah, I think so. I think like Can we be outside of the ship doing repairs? Can it be one of those like spacewalk things? And like
Sure, we
maybe
can do
we're
that.
maybe we're like fixing outside of a window, something outside of a window, and like the captain is right there, but like is in communications with us on the inside. I don't know, or we could just do it in front of the captain too. Like we can just be like, yeah, we can just be in front of them and we don't have to be outside doing repairs while this is happening.
I'm fine with that. I'm just kind of wondering how, like,
I mean, it could be that we're at their sick bed or like the oxygen room.
yeah, I was
And
almost
then,
imagining something like we're in whatever, like, medical, like maybe that's the
yeah.
thing, because we fucking have to like put together this ramshackle like medical
Oh yeah.
station because you
Yeah.
vented everything. I mean, not
Oh,
that there's any resentment there on my part about that. You just, you did what you had to do, and sometimes, when we're in a tense situation, you make poor decisions.
sorry, I thought you'd rather have a whole, well, mostly whole ship than a ship that was in enemy hands.
Yeah, and before we get into things, each crew member describes what has changed about them since we last saw them. Um, so first off, I'll put on you. It's what has changed about EL?
Let's see, since this horrible battle that they had to fight on their own, they are so tired. I don't think they've slept. I think like maybe all of us have been like working around the clock to get the ship fixed. And so like there's they have like heavy circles on their eyes. They're fully wired on caffeine and whatever drugs they can have found that hasn't been vented into space. Yeah, they're gonna crash at some point, I think. That, that's what they look like.
Cool. I think that Mother Rent has shifted out of her flesh body and is currently running several like automated like little drone bodies to like set up a station here. I think that's what's changed about me. Captain Blooming, you're kind of here too, even though you may not necessarily like. We'll see. You can come in whenever you want, but
Yeah, well,
uh,
I think like because it's also late where I am. I think like they are kind of like they're like coming in and out of like consciousness, so they can't really contribute. I will say what's added is like their hair has like changed now, where when they once had a white streak, now it's just like a black streak.
cool. And I look, I'll just give this to you. The player whose character has the most anger in their hearts takes the first turn. I'm assuming that that's EL right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I have been angry a lot recently. Um, and the fact that you brought the
So
captain back in this particular. Um,
yeah, they're taught the captain's like talking about like burning up together on this mission, you know.
yeah. All right. So I'll ask you a leading question that you should answer. Yeah, I think we circle each other tense and silent. What do I say to break the silence? And I like think that maybe this is just like uh a stony silence as we're like working silently together to like your drones, me doing whatever it is I'm doing on the medical side to like work on this med bay that we now need to patch together.
I think that this is a really interesting mini game because it asks us to like to actually
Yeah.
put words in each other's
Yeah, yeah.
mouths. I think that I think you probably say something like, I hope you and the captain were having fun while I was trying to stop all of us from dying.
It's fair.
That's fair. That's what you said.
100% what I said. That's fair was out of character. Yeah. I think she even says it not looking at you. She says it like putting some tubes into other tubes.
I think it's very clear that you are not the only one dealing with a crisis, EL. Whatever you want to say about my performance, it was because you couldn't keep things under control here on the ship, that we were left stranded.
I was one person in charge of a whole ship. I did my best. Meanwhile, you bring the captain back in this state. I thought I could have trusted someone like you with all of your capabilities to bring them back whole and in one piece.
And I thought I could trust you with the ship. But it appears we had both miscalculated. Oh, and I am... Oh. Sorry, I was just reading the last one. Oh. I think... Yeah. I pointedly ask about your true intentions. I know that whatever you think about the Rosafina and my own views about what we are all here for, I want to know, are you planning on stopping us, EL? And do you convince me with a lie or confuse me with the truth?
And not stopping us in this question, in this is referring to the burning together.
Yep.
Okay. I think Yale takes a moment and like does some completely unnecessary tucking of some like sheets around the captain to keep himself busy and to not continue to not look at Mother Rent and their drones. I think we'll say I think they are going to try to they're going to try to confuse you with the truth. Not exactly sure what the words they say are specifically, but I think they're gonna like whatever the words are. It's something to the effect of um I think they reveal that they have like stronger feelings for the captain than possibly Mother Rent has ever seen. And so maybe it's confusing because you haven't, I don't know, I don't know exactly, but like, almost like the intensity of the vehemence in which EL says, I will get in your way. I will keep you from taking the captain down with you, whether or not the mission succeeds or fails. Like something to that effect.
I'm not taking the captain down with me, EL. This is a choice we made together. I do not understand why you can't see that. I just don't. But you can't stop myself or Captain or Blooming from making decisions, whatever you believe to be the case.
You think you'll pay for things with your lives. Is that supposed to be redemption or not?
It's death. It doesn't need to be anything else.
Hmm.
Do you want to pick a leading question now?
Yeah. I will question your loyalty to the crew. Do you defend yourself or admit your doubt? And I think it's something like is this what you've been waiting for all this time? Is this all part of some plot you've put together in which the end result is we all die? Because for some reason that fits into your glorious image of what we should be.
Oh, and I'm just remembering some of my other past decisions I've stated about the character. I came here to die, to unmake myself, EL. Regardless, it had nothing to do with allowing you or Captain Blooming to come to harm. I will, though, stand by the decisions either of you make. I have Captain Blooming wishes to burn. I know that you do not wish that, and I have devoted myself to making certain that you will be the one to walk away from all this. You are the only legacy that either of us will leave behind. Well, no. I mean, I obviously Mother Rent can't say that because there is Truffle. No, I think that's just what Mother Rent says. They ended on like I have made certain that whatever else happens, you will be the one to walk away from this. And I bring up the past in a way I promised I never would. What do I say to hurt you here?
Yeah, I think you bring up the past of like the laboratories and our work
Oh
eating
yeah, I know
your
exactly what
weapon.
I say. I know all of the crimes that you have committed, EL. And you do not see me condemning you for it. You do not see me demanding that you sacrifice yourself. That is a decision each of us makes on our own about how to live with it or not live with it. I cannot live with the decisions I have made. And I ask you to allow me to make the same decision I allow you to make.
And EL just looks down at the captain, who is a clone, who is also possibly at this point failing a little bit, who would have been one of the people sent to the machine, and just like cannot respond to that.
Mhm. Cool. So I think let's pull here, because this is also the end then. The character who revealed the most chooses a closing question. Who I feel like maybe I did. I feel like I revealed a lot about my
Yeah.
desires and beliefs
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of what EL wasn't necessarily like secret stuff. That was just
No,
like
it was like,
EL like
this is
finding
how
stuff
I
out
feel
and
about
getting
this.
angry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can choose. I just one of these closing questions. I either confess my feelings for you, distracted me from the truth, and what truth am I hiding from? And then I choose to escalate. Okay. I keep my guard up and pretend I'm unaffected. We find ourselves at a stalemate, and a member of the crew is forced to come in and break up the confrontation.
You want me to come in and break up the
Yeah, I think
conversation?
I think that makes the most sense here for the captain to interject at this point. They say exactly, so you diffuse the situation for now.
Yeah, yeah. I think like you feel like you hear like the oxygen mask just kind of being taken off, and Captain just kind of has risen up and just kind of looks at the two of you and say, "Well, isn't this just one of my loveliest dreams? The two of you arguing over my corpse."
Maybe that's exactly what diffuses the situation for now. Like we haven't actually dealt with any of the problems. It's just
No,
just that is a good line, and it does get a chuckle
yeah.
from both of us, and we get back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain like doesn't give away whether they said that deliberately or not. I think they just
Yeah.
kind of like get up and look like as right as rain, and just kind of like maybe make a crack about inspecting the ship, being like, hope it's still ship shape.
Yeah. So, and this is actually an interesting one because for this one, we both draw a card, but red cards are just removed from the game for
Yeah.
this question.
Great.
And this is in addition to though the loyalty draw. This
Okay.
doesn't this
Oh, yeah.
isn't the loyalty draw, but we both get a chance to get one extra black card here and no like. So that goes away.
Okay. And I keep this one.
Yep. And
then the loyalty
now,
draw.
yeah, how about you draw first since this is your.
Yeah, that was bound to happen. The enemy grows stronger. The player describes a brief glimpse of the enemy and how they become more terrifying. Let me look at all of the ways that this enemy is so terrifying. Ooh, okay. I think we see yeah, I think we see somewhere on a distant planet a shot of Dr. Crane. And I think we just see that he is, or that they are like being held against their will, like that the enemy has discovered their betrayal of the enemy. And I think tortures have failed. So like I think like we just see that they're not doing very great right now. And like that the enemy knows that we have been sent coordinates and they are mobilizing, or that they now know like what we're up to a little bit. Maybe they're like questioning Crane a little bit about like everything they know about us.
Cool. And let me draw my card. Oh, so this goes to the enemy pile. And it's also no, that 4 goes. That was one that I drew because of the extra draw.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And this also goes to the red pile, to the enemy pile. Oh, what happens here? I think that we see like we return to that, to like playing off what you're saying, Dr. Crane. I think we see this moment where like Dr. Crane is just kind of entered through like the mouth and nose and eyes by one of these nanites. And like we discover that this is why they are coming after humans, that this is how they can live and feel again. They need bodies to inhabit. And yeah, on that wonderful note, we are 10 minutes to the hour. So I'm going to take us off air now to do some stars and wishes. Thanks everyone for showing up and watching. Until next time, I'll be seeing y'all.